doors through the highways, and on we'll go.
Hello everyone and welcome to this video. So today I'm going to talk about some really interesting things. After so many years, it seems like SSO is finally going to do something with the Devil's Gap, as there's some concept art. There's also some concept art of Beatrix, and Starstable also added some interesting things into their files. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, make sure to subscribe. It really means a lot. And now let's get into it. So I just want to say I'm not caught up to the main story that we have right now, so some of my speculations might be really off, but overall it just seems like we're finally going to get the Devil's Gap and, new main story quests. So again, the first thing that I wanted to start with is a crystal that has recently appeared in a moorland house, cottage, whatever. This video was posted by SSO Adventures, and someone in the comments did say that the crystal or the ingot looks like one of the ones that you have to collect during the Druid quest. So I have no idea if this is going to be connected to anything that we're going to be doing. I mean, it is a little purple, with, purple, Pandoria, all of that. Again, I'm really not sure what this could be connected with. Is it the main story? Is it going to be the Equestrian Festival? Because it does look like some different form of a soul shard, or, things that we have during the events. Again, just wanted to include it, and are gonna be from Starstable Spoilers community on Instagram, so make sure to check them out. But there's basically some new models of the Life Warden sapling, and again, I'm not caught up to the main story, but I know that after you finish all of the main story quests, there are some story snacks, and basically once a week you have to take care of the sapling. And I think the next week or the week after that is gonna be the last one that you have to do it. But we're not gonna get new main story quests until after the first March update. If we just, look at the information that Starstable posted on their Next Up in Jorvik. Also, if you're interested in what they said in Next Up in Jorvik, I did make a video about it a few days ago. So if you want to look at it, I'm gonna put the link to that video in the description and in the upper right corner. Along with Sapling's new look, SSO also added haystacks. And honestly, the only thing that I feel this could be connected to is the new championships that Starstable is going to implement. The first one is going to be added, I'm not sure if it's next week or the week after that, but it's gonna be the Moorland Championship. But yeah, I don't really know what else it would be, but let me know what you think. And now let's get on to the more interesting part of this video, which is the concept art that I mentioned before. So all of these things have been done for SSO by Victor, who is a concept artist and illustrator. There's a lot of really nice art in here, but honestly, I think I'm just gonna jump straight into it, and let's go to the most interesting and the most confusing thing about every, concept art in here, which is this picture. The picture is titled Devil's Gap Concert Stage, and I am just so confused. So the Devil's Gap is kind of a really notorious area. I haven't been there in quite a while, so I went there again, and while you see me fail and finally get near the Devil's Gap, I'm gonna read you some information about it from the Wikipedia. So Devil's Gap is an area that can only be reached through the Devil's Gap passage, which can be entered through an iron gate in Jarlheim. The gate is currently locked and the area is inaccessible. According to Dorth Jarlsson, in the Devil's Gap there are caves that can be sacred to Vala, which are sacred women from Jon Jarl's time. In Starshine Legacy, the Riddle of Darkcore, and Starstable The Autumn Rider, the Devil's Gap is a narrow cliff with precipices on each side that runs through an area near Jorvik Stables. In Starshine Legacy, Alex enters Devil's Gap in an attempt to rescue her little brother James from Katya, and an NPC called Gavin has told the player to never open the gate leading to the Devil's Gap. So the Devil's Gap has been there since like the beginning of the game, and it is even present in its predecessors. There's a lot of theories about it, you know, how it is the home of Garnock and all this and that. And while we're on the theories topic, I did want to include a video that Northina made quite a while ago because I still find that theory very interesting, but I feel like she would explain it much better than me, so I'm just gonna include the clips from her video in here.
Let's start with a little story. In Starshine Legacy, episode 3, when Anne is going to save Concord from Pandoria, she passes a wall with 8 runes. Let's go through them all a bit quickly. The first rune shows a people that seems to be horses combined with humans, and their planet which exists somewhere in the galaxy. The second rune shows a giant octopus-like monster attacking the horse people's planet. The third rune shows the horse people being victorious and defeats the monster. The fourth rune shows how the monster is locked behind bars. The fifth rune shows the horse people transporting away the monster in one of their starships. The sixth rune shows that something's gone wrong on the ship and that they are close to a planet we are well known with. The seventh rune shows the monster at the bottom of an ocean, and the horse people are giving something to a rider and its horse. The eighth and last rune shows how the monster has escaped, but is fought back by 4 riders on their horses with the power of sun, moon, lightning and star. I guess you can all guess who the monster is. That's right, it's Garnock. These runes shows the beginning of the Soul Riders and basically where the whole story of Starshine Legacy and Star Stable Online started. Fripp were also on the ship when it crashed on Jorvik. He actually explains it himself pretty good here in Starshine Legacy episode 4. So now we know where Garnock came from and why he is at the bottom of the ocean. Or is he? A couple of years ago I read a theory on someone's blog, and I am so sorry, I have forgotten your name and I forgot to save the blog post. I feel so professional right now. I'm not saving my sources correctly. Anyhow, this person receives all the credit for this theory. This person discussed that Garnock was perhaps not laying on the bottom of the ocean, but actually at the bottom of Devil's Gap in the middle of Harvest Counties. In Starshine Legacy episode 4, when Alex is racing against Katja at Devil's Gap, you can see enormous tentacles rise up from the deep, trying to make Alex lose. It has to be Garnock, since we don't know any other creature in this universe with tentacles. But if he is at the bottom of the ocean, how can his tentacles appear here? If we go by this theory, the answer is because the ship is down there somewhere, and that's why he can reach up to the top with his tentacles. Some of you may be thinking, but hey, Devil's Gap is far from the ocean and Fripp even says that's where he crashed. How do we explain that? With the power of nature, the Earth is constantly changing, and the water levels are completely different today than they were 1,000 years ago. It's very possible that Devil's Gap actually was at the bottom of the ocean when the ship crashed outside of Jorvik, and throughout the years the water level has slowly sunken and revealed more land to the island we know today, which is how the ship now is in Devil's Gap and why Garnock's tentacles reach up during the race. This would explain why Devil's Gap is still closed for us. I mean, it's nothing new with SSO when it comes to open up an area, but leave a part still closed. But this would actually explain why it's closed, and why everyone in Jarlaheim is so terrified of it and never speaks about it. Or maybe the ship is actually still out on the bottom of the ocean, somewhere. And the tentacles appearing at Alex and Katja's race is simply tentacles Garnock materialized with the help of his magic, the same way his generals are walking on Jorvik, as Fripp explains here. I, however, really like the theory about Garnock being in Devil's Gap, and I believe it could work.
So yeah, honestly, I'm not sure if since then anything has happened that would disprove this, but I think the biggest thing that would disprove this theory is this concept art, which is just so confusing because it seems like there's some kind of a concert. Okay, first the bottom two pictures, because I feel like they kind of show us what is actually going on. So there's a stage, and around it, it seems like there's some horse boxes. You can see horses inside of them, and obviously people that are just looking at what's going on. There's some stalls, and again, there's just a lot of riders, and there's a lot of things going on. First, I thought that it could be connected to the dark core. I didn't see how flashy everything looked, and I just thought that, dark core or Garnock or someone is projecting some kind of message on the screen, but it just looks like a normal concert, which is so confusing. And I just hope that, this mysterious, dangerous Devil's Gap is not just gonna become a place for concerts. I don't know about you, but I really wouldn't want that. Honestly, just leave it closed if you're going to do this. I did notice that on the upper left corner, there seems to be some mountains with 3 heads, a star, and then a horse silhouette. I mean, that's kind of broad, but again, I'm pretty sure that's it. And we see a rider on the bottom right corner, and I'm gonna guess that's probably us, but yeah, I don't know how all of this is connected, but in my opinion, SSO did kind of ruin the old Dark Riders, because at least to me, they looked much more ominous and scary with their previous models, especially Chio. I'm not even gonna talk about it. So I hope that Dark Riders don't just finish their evil acts and become a band or something, because then I swear I'm quitting. Why are they going to utilize the Devil's Gap and its caves for a concert arena? I'm so confused. I don't know, I just cannot make sense of this. Because again, before I was like, yeah, this makes sense. I saw, the horses. I thought that, I don't know, they're being hypnotized or something, but it just seems like they're having fun, if I'm being honest. I don't know. Again, I just don't know what to say. Okay, I am complaining a little bit now, but I did praise SSO in one of my previous videos. I did say that their updates are getting better, but I don't like how they're making everything so, I don't know how to describe it, flashy. The old main story quests and, the models, the story was much more scary, but now it's just much more light and funny and fluffy, and I don't know, it seems like we're gonna have concerts now. I'm just so confused. And the other interesting part about, all of this concept art are these two pictures. So one of them, it seems like the first part of the picture is gonna be a book cover, because I swear I tried to find this book everywhere. This book is nowhere, and the name is The Farrier's Roan, Lord Oathshaw, and there's some concept art of Beatrix, I'm not sure. And if we actually take a look at the cover, there's Beatrix Rider, and in the background there's a shadowy figure. There is I don't even know what to say, a little temple building, I don't know. And it seems like there's a Pandorian portal, and then there's a horse, and then there's another picture with this kind of portal. The name of the picture is Wilding Ways Chaos Dimension. As I said, I'm not caught up to the main story, but do we already have this in game? This looks so interesting, honestly. There's Pandoria, and then there's gonna be this Chaos Dimension. We see the same kind of building, though it is kind of ruined. It would be cool if, the building in Epona that looks kind of like this would, you know, lead to this dimension. I mean, they look the same. I'm sure it's gonna be there. As opposed to Pandoria, this like dimension has more of a dark color scheme. There's still some purple, but it's more bluish and, you know, dark colors. It seems like there's some sort of stone with some ruins there, and I don't know, a lot of books. But anyway, let's go back to Beatrix Ryder. But honestly, I tried to find some information about this person, but I just could not. But there is some information about Beatrix, who regards Beatrix Ryder as its hero, so I thought that we would just go over that. So Beatrix is a Carpen with a passion for books who lives in Fort Maria, and she helps the Soul Riders get into the fort. She wears a blue witch hat, a green shirt, and green backpack, and she holds a small brown book. This character's first and only appearance is in SSO, so Sourceable Online, and not any of its predecessors. SSO has already been distancing itself from the old games for quite a while, but there's still quite a lot of connection, but I guess just not in here. In Star Stable, as the Soul Riders are searching for a way inside Fort Maria, they speak to Scott Buttergood as they were told that he might know a way inside. They find him searching for a monster, the Fort Maria Fiend. He says that the monster can talk and is sneaking into Fort Maria somehow, and the group agrees to help him catch it. Hoping that they can find out how to get inside, they set up traps and wait until night, and they catch the quote-unquote monster, who turns out to be Beatrix. They have a bad first meeting and must first build trust with Beatrix over the course of 4 days before she will tell them how to get inside the fort. After earning her trust, the Soul Riders go inside Fort Maria through the ruined entrance, guided by Beatrix. Inside, she helps them find their way around the library and rescue Mrs. Holdsworth. When Beatrix is racing around the library, on the back of Concord, they bump into a bookcase. The group thinks that there's something off about it, and upon investigating further, they find that it opens into the entrance of the Wildweave Cave. This place links the primeval trees together and provides transportation between them. However, it is inactive as it needs another live tree to work. In Mrs. Holdsworth's research, the group found that a primeval tree seed is buried with Jan Jarl, so they go to his tomb to ask for it. Upon obtaining the seed, Beatrix and Concord race with the rest of the group back to the library. But before arriving, they're ambushed by Dark Riders and a group of Dark Core workers transporting Darkonium, a dangerous and unstable material. A Vala witch they encountered earlier, Sive appears to help them and opens a portal for them to use to escape. Although they are distrusting of the witch, the group agrees that this is their only hope, so they go through the portal. However, it closes before the player can enter, and Mrs. Holdsworth and Alex, Concord, and Beatrix are left stranded on the other side. So Beatrix refers to Mrs. Holdsworth as Granny or grandmother, but it doesn't seem like they're actually related. I mean, they're not the same species, so it's like, that would be kind of interesting. And Beatrix is not her original name, as she says that she loves the book series Beatrix Ryder and decided to change her name to match, as she did not think her birth name suited her. There's a lot of other concept art with, you know, posters for SSO, backgrounds for SSO. Then there's Fripp's book, Fripp's room, Doll's Abbey, Fort Maria Library, and oh my gosh, one thing that I'm very interested in is the like different concept arts for how the runestones would look. So right now I'm pretty sure we have these triangular ones, but honestly I feel like I like some of the other ones more. Like the triangles just look so alien-like, and I feel like it doesn't like fit as much as some of the other ones would. There's also concept art for different, you know, Baroness logo / family crest and the entrance sign and color. Yeah, there's a lot of concept art for the Baroness racetrack, which is kind of interesting. There's also concept art for the vehicles. There's different color schemes for the Silverglade houses. Then again, some Silverglade Village concept art. There's lights for the Silverglade Village, some fountains, and just the general houses, and then the Big Bonnie's house. I really want to see how differently it could have looked. I feel like I kind of like 5 just because it's so crazy, but I think I still kind of like the one that we have right now. Then there's different concept art for the town hall or the council house, but honestly I think I like the one that they went with. Then there's some Halloween masks concept art. Do we have all of them? Like, they don't really look familiar, but I'm not like the biggest SSO mask enthusiast anymore, so I wouldn't really know. Then there's concept art for the Galloper's Keep, the New Year's photo booth illustration, and then there's some more backgrounds for summer and winter. Here is some concept art of Firgrove. I remember when they updated Firgrove, before we actually got it, there was some like concept art or work in progress pictures, and I just thought that was so cool. Honestly, I'm glad that they stuck with the color scheme that Firgrove had before, though this is a beautiful building, but I don't know. I like that they stuck to their roots. I see that they don't anymore, which is kind of sad because I feel like Firgrove was a really well updated area because it still retained everything that it was just upgraded. Whereas if we look at, the Silverglade Village, it's just a completely different area. It is not, the Silverglade Village that it was before. And I'm not saying that on its own it looks bad, but I just don't like it because it is not, the old Silverglade. And I think it could have looked just as beautiful if, they kind of stuck to the original design. Though it is much larger now, but I feel like they still could have, kind of worked around that. And then there's also some concept art for Mistful. Honestly, I really like the color blue. I'm really not sure if it has all of these small details now. I'm kind of excited, so again, let me know what you think in the comments down below. This is gonna be it for today. I'm gonna see you in my next video. Bye!